Hello, I am Marisha and welcome to my creative diary. I hope you're having a great day. So today I'm going to create a card using a masking technique, a layering stamp, and I'm going to talk to you about Belle Rose Garden. So let's get started. To begin, I brought in Whimsy Stamps Butterfly Stamp Set, and I'm going to use the largest butterfly for this card. I'm now going to position it on the cardstock. And then I'm going to bring in some low tack tape and I'm going to mask off half of the image. I'm then going to ink up the side that I would like to stamp. Now I'm going to remove the masking tape and then I'm going to stamp the image. Since I did not get a good impression during the first stamp, I'm going to repeat the last step. So I'm bringing back in the masking tape. I'm going to tape off the side of the image that I'm not going to stamp. And then I'm going to ink up the side that I'm going to stamp. I'm going to remove the masking tape and then I'm going to stamp the image again. Next, I'm going to ink and stamp the image on a piece of masking paper. I'm now cutting out the image, but I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm definitely going to save the other half for a future project. After I remove the backing, I'm then going to cover the image. Now it's time for some stamp layering. So I brought in Honeybee Stamps Antique Layering Roses. And thankfully there is a guide enclosed that will definitely help me to stamp the roses. This is my first time stamp layering, and to help me out, I decided to stamp the outline first. And then from there, I began to layer the rose. Thankfully, I'm glad I had Pink Fresh Studios. If you look to the left, they're fairy dust ink cubes. It came in the 4 shades of the pink, and it basically matched the color that is on the guide for the rose. Another thing I learned about layering this rose is if I decide to stamp without the outline, I will use a focal point as a guide to help me, which is the center of the rose. So that's another tip if you are new to ink layering. Look for a focal point that will help you in your layering, whether it's stamp layering or stencil layering. Find that focal point. So that's what helped me when I was stamping and layering this image. Now it's time for me to stamp the next layer, which is R4. I want to talk to you a little bit about Belle Rose Garden. With everything going on in the world, I wanted to create a space where you can go to feel inspired, encouragement, love, just all things positive. So at first, I sent out a call to all of the crafters out there who create cards to submit their work. But some of you reached out to me who want to participate who do not make cards. So I have opened the call to all makers out there. So whatever you love to create, feel free to participate. This year's theme is butterfly roses, so you can create a project that incorporates a butterfly, a rose, or both. Creatively, whatever you want to do, you know what I always say? Go for it. For more information on how you can submit your project, I will add the link in the description box below. All submissions are due by April the 30th and will be featured in a video that I will release here on YouTube in May. I am so excited and cannot wait to share your creations. Now it's time for me to add a sentiment to this card front. So I brought in Catherine Pooler Designs Just Soar stamp set. I'm then going to select the sentiment. I'm then going to ink it up and stamp it twice to make sure I have a good impression. I wanted to add some splatter to the card front, so I decided to bring in my black ink. I'm then going to add some water to it, and then with my brush, I'm going to tap, tap, tap to add the splatter to the card front. To cut down my panel, I brought in Waffle Flower's Deckled Frames die. I'm then going to position the die on the panel and then run it through my die cutting machine. I want to add a little bit of shimmer and shine to this panel, so I brought in some Belle Rose shimmer spray and sprayed some on the panel. I had some issues with my glue while creating this card. The first bottle, the glue would not come out. The second bottle, the glue spewed out. And then the third bottle, the glue barely came out. So after a while, I was thinking, okay, I may have to use adhesive tape, but then the third bottle decided it wanted to work. So I adhered the panel to the card base. The card base is an A2 standard size top folding card. And then to embellish the card, I brought in Pink Fresh Studios metallic half pearls. I'm then going to use my jewel pick to add them to the card. And then I cut out another panel to add to the inside of the card. And then the rose that I created off camera, I cut it out, and then I'm going to add it to the inside of the card. And there you have it. This card is done. The shimmer, the shine, the roses, and what a beautiful sentiment to encourage that special someone. Thank you so much for joining me on today. I appreciate you for stopping by. For more information regarding the Belle Rose Garden, I will list and link the website below. I've also created a spring sentiment download that is free and is available on my website, thediaryofbellerose.com. I thank you in advance for subscribing, clicking the thumbs up button, and the notification bell. The products used in this video will be listed and linked below, and feel free to leave a comment as I would love to chat with you. Remember, self-care is the best care, so until next time, please take care.